The sound that you have, I mean, at what point you were calling it Ratchet? I mean, do you still kind of call it Ratchet, or is it something else?
I don't really call it Ratchet. I think that's just a word that people just gave it. But I feel like the sound really, that word Ratchet really came from Boosie. You know what I'm saying? Like, get ratchet with it. Like, that's just a word we got from Boosie, and we start using it. People start calling it ratchet music, so it just, I guess, gave it that title for everybody. But I feel like I do just normal hip hop music. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I mean, you have kind of a signature sound. So, you know, there's always been kind of the issue with producers in hip hop. You know, when they have a sound that's really distinctive, you know, at one point, you know, people start to move away from that sound. I mean, is this something that you're, you know, that you're, you know, kind of conscious of as you're doing your music?
I'm conscious of it, but I ain't nervous. I ain't scared or nothing like that. It's normal, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has their time, but you gotta think about it for real. When his sound for 10 years strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about how you reinvent yourself and how you really put together your music. I mean, I came out with a lot of the songs that sound the same, and then I came out with My Nigga, and then I came out with Up Down. I don't feel like those sound the same. I mean, of course, I have my signature sounds in them, but as far as me changing my sound, I'm always reinventing myself, so you're never gonna hear something that you gonna, you know what I'm saying? You're never gonna know what you're gonna hear.
Yeah, you know, like when I was looking up your credits, you know, I didn't know that you did Up Down by T-Pain. Yeah, it doesn't really sound like a typical Mustard record. I mean, it sounds different.
Exactly. That's just because sometimes I want to change it up. But sometimes people demand that sound, so I give them that sound because that's what they want.
You know, have you heard people comparing your sound to like the Bay Area sound at all?
Yeah, I hear that, but it's all on West Coast. I wouldn't understand why people were so focused on me being compared to the Bay. I mean, we're all the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? That's like asking somebody from Reno, why is your sounds like you're from Los Angeles? He's from Reno. He's from the West Coast. Of course he grew up on Dr. Dre. Of course he grew up on Too Short. Of course he grew up on E40. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. But for me, it's just like, I honestly say this all the time. When I make beats, I don't think, okay, I'm making this. It's gonna be a bass slap or a bass banger or whatever you might call it. I don't do that. I don't focus on nobody but myself. So it's not like I'm waking up saying, you know what, I'm gonna make this song because I know I'm taking it from the Bay. It's not that. But I have woken up and I am a big fan of Too Short, and I have sampled a Too Short song, but I feel like they take that too far and make it to something that it's not. And it's not really that, you know what I'm saying? It ain't that serious. It's just like, we are the West Coast. Why can't somebody from the West Coast that's from the West Coast put on for the whole West Coast? It's not just about LA, it's bigger than LA. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we can't ever get nowhere, because everybody always hating on the next man or worried about what the next man is doing. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I'm from the Bay originally, and to me, like, I thought it was a compliment.
I feel you too. I got a lot of love for the Bay producers too. I like Rick. Rick Rock was one of the hardest dudes, you know what I'm saying, that I think came out of the Bay. But at the same time, just because he's from the Bay, when he was doing hyphy movement, we wasn't saying, oh, he's stealing from E40. I mean, it's stealing for Little John, because Little John, if you really want to think about it, did all of the Bay songs. He did Tell Me When to Go. He did Shake That Monkey. He did Blow the Whistle. He did all them songs, and people overlook that and don't think like, yo, come on, man. A dude that's from down south came and gave you guys these records. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not, the sound is the sound. People should just be happy that we even getting looked at right now, because just a few years ago, it was all about the South. It wasn't about no LA or the Bay. It wasn't about that. So people should really just be happy that somebody is doing it. And I always tell people, if you feel like if I'm taking the Bay sound and you can do what I'm doing better than me, then why ain't you doing it? Because niggas need to step up to the plate and do what they got to do at the end of the day. Because my numbers ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. My numbers ain't lying none. So I'm not really worried about what people say. I just know I represent one coast. I don't represent just LA. I represent everywhere. The Bay, I represent everywhere. Because I'm from the coast. You get what I'm saying? So it's It only makes sense for me to represent the whole coast. But at the end of the day, them numbers ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean the numbers are crazy. But you know, like for example, like you know, when I heard Bees Headband, I'm like, oh, this kind of reminds me. It reminds me of Super Hyphy a little bit. You know, like the way the beat is kind of structured, and I'm like, that's kind of dope. It's almost like, you know what I mean? Like, here's that sound that I liked, but now it's, you know, Super Hyphy was a regional record.
Yeah, I remember. Nah, Super Hyphy was a big record for the West Coast, if you ask me. I played that in all the clubs, every club possible. I played that song in, but I know that was tight that you think that sound like that because I like that song. I used to like that song.
I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Kind of like the sound of Headband is kind of like the sound of Super Hyphy.
Kinda. I don't know. I think those are totally different songs. I couldn't really put it together, but I don't know. I never heard that comparison before. But maybe I don't know. Shit, I don't know. If you think it sounds like it a little bit, then shit, I think so.